What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we're going to be rocking it with a 4-round mock draft. So, if you guys like the NFL draft, which is why you're here, feel free to stay. I would like to be able to talk to you guys. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Go into Twitter, Discord, Instagram. All those links are down in the description below, and we got a lot more stuff coming out over the next couple of months. So, stay tuned because we're going to get even better post content almost every single day. Yesterday was quite crazy. Obviously, we had 3 videos come out. Tried to get 5 in there, but obviously we didn't need to oversaturate y'all. So if you guys like your specific teams, if you guys like have one favorite team, drop it down in the comment section below. We might already have an off-season and 7-round mock draft up for that team because I've just completed the NFC East. So if you guys like that, feel free to check it out. NFC South coming next because I promised y'all a long time ago to do that. So without further ado, let's kick into this. Let's have some fun. Starting off with the number 1 overall pick. The Jacksonville Jaguars are sitting here. And again, I'm actually flabbergasted to see the fact that Evan Neal is actually put at the number 1 position. That is pretty awesome because, as you guys know, I am 100% down to have Evan Neal be my number 1 player in the draft. So regardless of whether he was or not, we all know offensive line, especially we saw last night in the Super Bowl, is paramount. You need to have good offensive line protection to be able to succeed in this league. And even if you get to the Super Bowl, it's usually what loses you the game is whether your offensive line can hold up to a defense. Defense wins championships, sure, but offensive lines are the one thing standing in the way of a lot of defenses. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think Cam Robinson's up for a contract. Walker Little's developing. So you could say, hey, we would rather just go with Walker Little and see what happens at the other tackle position. I would say that's a ridiculous thing to do. I will also say that if you pass on an offensive tackle like Evan Neal and you wait till the next round, your best bet is Bernard Ryman, and I don't think he's good. I don't. I think he's like a late second at best, which thank God TDN is starting to agree with me. PFF has their panties in a bunch over him, but just like Brady Christensen last year, just because you grade out well doesn't mean that you're actually going to play to the level that grade suggests. So yeah, I think Evan Neal is the best prospect in the draft class. Also, this is a hyper saturated edge class because Kingsley Enagbare, this guy should be a solidified top 20 pick in most drafts. And yeah, the guy is threatening being thrown out of the first round, right? And Josh Pascal, especially if you use him on the inside, is a guy who you can use you could probably take him in the first round. Like, guy is talented at all get-go. Myjai Sanders, Nick Benito, Boye Mafe. There's guys in the 3rd round that should be having 2nd to 1st round grades. That is a stacked class. So when you look at it, we call it opportunity cost in business/econ. The opportunity cost of losing out on KT or Aidan is getting an amazing edge rusher in round 2 or round 3. I don't think it's that bad. So 100% going to be going Evan Neal here. Everybody tries to say Ikem Ekwonu or Charles Cross is better. Don't listen to him. Honestly, Ikem has a little bit more power. Evan Neal is the only tackle that I have seen in this draft class that actually uses correct form. And that's called not holding every damn snap. And also, he hits inside the pads. I don't know why these offensive line coaches aren't training their guys to do this. And some of these tackles actually started doing it. So I think Charles Cross started doing it. Ikem has some flashes of it, but you gotta grab in here. It's a lot. You're gonna get called every time if you're getting seen grabbing someone's jersey on the outside. If you're on the inside, there's a lot more traffic. It's a lot harder to see. And even though Evan Neal doesn't even hold, if he decided to grip a little bit more on the inside, that is exactly what you need to do to be a dominant offensive tackle. Love Evan Neal there. And again, he is by far the best tackle in this class. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. The guy has some balancing issues. Okay. The guy's just a hyper athlete, and he hasn't even had 1 year or over 1 year at one position. He has played right tackle, left tackle, and a guard spot. He has not even had more than 1 season to play a single position. This guy is incredible, and he is still super raw. This guy is, I don't know. I would threaten to put him above Penei Sewell. I'm not going to do that because, again, he's also, it's a negative that he's a little bit raw as well because he's not going to come in and be the impact that Penei was, which we saw what happens when Penei's out of water. He had a tough start to the season when he played something he didn't. Evan Neal has played every single position that you could probably want him to play. So big fan of Evan Neal there. Number 2 for the Lions. Apparently there's this BS rumor that KT doesn't have the fire to play football because he talked about he went to Oregon because they have good brand deals there. The guy wants to make money. Who cares? I seriously don't think that is a negative on the fire. He's like, oh, he didn't do it because he loved football. I mean, when at his talent level, he gets to choose wherever the hell he wants to go. He loves football, but now you get to go into the nitty gritties about what you want to do. He's a smart guy. He wants to be able to invest in his future. There's nothing wrong with somebody going to Oregon to want to be close to Nike and Under Armour and be able to get brand deals that way, especially in NIL. So, I mean, I seriously have no idea why people are saying KT doesn't have the fire because he chose a business move as his difference between going to there or like an Alabama. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I mean, KT's a smart guy and just wanted to make himself better off. That being said, I will say that Dan Campbell does seem to be more of like a homegrown type of guy. I love KT and I think he'll do phenomenally in the interview process. I will just say this though, KT is he like when there's these rumors flying around, no matter how bullshit they are, they do stick in owners' minds and they stick in GM's minds. So I'm gonna go Aidan Hutchinson here. It hurts me because I really do want to go KT at number 2 because I think the guy's phenomenal, has a much higher ceiling. But again, you go the Michigan home route. Obviously, he has an established fan base there already in Michigan and Ann Arbor. So bring it to Detroit. Aidan Hutchinson going to the Lions. Number 3, we have the Texans sitting here, and I do think they go offensive line. And the question is, do you want to trade with a team like the Jets so that they can move up and be able to select somebody of the caliber of Kayvon Thibodeaux? At this point, I don't know because, again, there are guys like Jermaine Johnson's not going to go number 8. Like, obviously, they're predicting that KT will be probably gone here. It's probably based off of a recent mock draft they did. But, like, KT, I would be personally on board for KT. However, again, if you use the same theory, because this is the one team that doesn't need offensive line help, especially the tackle position, you're going to be missing out on offensive line when you do kind of need it. And you can still get solid edge rushers later on. I think Ikem Ekwonu is the right move. And I think he's actually going to go above KT. Because the guy's going to test out of his mind. The only reason he's getting this type of hype is because of how strong he is. And the guy's just an absolute brute. So, yeah, Ikem Ekwonu to this team would be phenomenal. Leaving the Jets here, and I do think they go after KT. I don't think he falls out of the top 4. The value is just too good to pass on. Even if, like, let's assume the bullshit claims are true and he doesn't have the fire for football the way some other players do. You're getting a guy with an unbelievable ceiling at number 4 overall. This guy should have been the number 1 overall pick. It's not every year that you get to capitalize on teams reaching on stuff like Ikem Ekwonu in order to get somebody who's worth a number 1 overall pick. I mean, yeah, you could say, hey, if we're the Jets and we're sitting here, I don't think we're going to, like, if you think that you're not going to do well the next year and you might be the number 1 or number 2 team on the board, then maybe you might want to go after someone like Kyle Hamilton, who has a bigger ceiling to his position. Like, I don't think we've ever seen somebody of the talent of Kyle Hamilton as a safety. But at the same time, KT sitting there, it's like, yeah, I mean, you can't deny it. And again, even if you get to go after somebody like Will Anderson next year, KT Will Anderson, I don't care who else is there. I don't care if Lawson's there. I'd much rather take that over any duo in the NFL. And again, that's solely projection, but I think KT is going to be a phenomenal player in this league. I don't think people are giving him enough credit. I think he was getting overhyped in the beginning, and he does have some reps that he takes off. But when you see his high-end play, it's worth taking a shot on. And for a team like the Jets, where he could truly be the best player on the team, it's a good spot for him to start shining again. And he looks really good in green. That's all I got to say. But number 5 to the New York Giants. So at this spot, we have to think about, because this is realistic. This isn't you know what? We could actually do what I would do. We'll do what I would do mock draft eventually, but this is semi-realistic still. It's the post Super Bowl one. So next week, we're going to do what I would do mock draft. So again, I'm sticking to the mind of Brian Daboll here. And when you look at the guys available, you got Kyle Hamilton, who I think probably should be the pick. You can see a team like the Falcons trade up for Kyle Hamilton here. That is a possibility because the short range trade, again, you could definitely get somebody who's extremely talented at the Falcons position, like Derek Stingley, Sauce Gardner, or even like guys like Jermaine Johnson, Trevon Walker, George Karlaftis, really good guys. I will just say, I don't think that they're going to trade back. I think offensive line might be the first move. It just, when you think about Brian Daboll, I think he goes after someone like Trevor Penning. I really do. And I think it would be a great spot to trade back from pick 7 to select him, because I really want to go Charles Cross here. It's just, it's tough to say that Trevor Penning's not going to be the guy. It really is tough to just say, hey, Trevor Penning, he's going to be the guy who we're going to pass on him, even though he's a better version of the guy that Brian Daboll had in his offense last year. It makes more sense to go that way. So for me, I'm going to go a little bit of a crazy route here, and people are going to crucify me for it. I know. Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. Now, yes, you are having Wink Martindale come over from the Ravens. One, he makes the best possible, like the ceiling of safeties in that scheme is reached. Like he is able to maximize the potential of his defensive backs. Obviously, the Ravens defense has been just absolute lockdown. Kyle Hamilton could definitely be that. You have Jabril Peppers up for a contract. Julian Love is up for a contract next year. Also, I don't think he gets re-signed. And then you have Xavier McKinney there. You also could be losing James Bradbury. He's going to be having $14.5 million cap hit. So your secondary might not be as strong as it once was. I think that it's the right move to go after the best player. Again, I think Kyle Hamilton's going to be an exponential upgrade over Julian Love. And Kyle Hamilton is a guy that you can use as a linebacker as well in certain schemes. And honestly, if you have it on passing downs, you have him in the box, I think he could be an absolute freak. So yeah, it's a crazy pick. It is. But I do think that the way that the Bills were running with, I mean, obviously you have, oh man, Damar Hamlin. There we go. I was forgetting his name. Damar Hamlin on that roster along with Poyer and, oh my God, I keep wanting to say HaHa Clinton Dix. I know it's not HaHa Clinton Dix, but Jordan Poyer as well as Micah Hyde. There we go. The emphasis on safety is huge. And we all know that Kyle Hamilton is a defensive god. He could go at number 3. If it were up to me, I probably wouldn't take him at 3, but that's just because of positional value. I would take KT at number 3. That's me. But maybe I would go with Chem. I don't know. Regardless, I think Kyle Hamilton is just too good of a player to pass on. And again, there's this weird feeling I have that Trevor Penning is going to be the guy to the Giants, and I really don't like it, but it makes so much sense. So yeah, for me, I'm going to be definitely doing that. For the Panthers at 6, it's a battle between trading back and getting Malik Willis or else going straight up for an offensive tackle like Charles Cross. The problem being, either way, it's going to be a bad situation. So Charles Cross would be phenomenal for this team. You could also go after the wild card pick, and that is Tyler Linderbaum. You could trade back at Tyler Linderbaum. I think he's gone by pick 10. I do. It's a tough one because you can go a multitude of routes. Tyler Linderbaum, obviously, I know that the interior of the offensive line has not been good for the Panthers. And yes, they're having some flashes of Brady Christensen as a left tackle. I don't have faith in him. Never did. So glad to say that. But hopefully he proves me wrong, because I like seeing good football players. I like seeing quarterbacks not get killed every play by defensive linemen. It's just not as fun. So I don't think they bail on Sam Darnold, but at the same time, I really don't think that they're in the position to like be very to get the right option. I don't think there's a right option here. So we actually might trade back here. We might, because I can't see the Falcons or the Broncos going. Broncos going after a veteran QB, and it's kind of weird to say that, but I think that's what's going to happen. And we might do a veteran QB trade here just because it makes sense. But for now, we're actually going to have a team move up for probably Charles Cross here, because the Giants are next, and I think a team should probably be looking to take someone like that. That team very well might be the Jets. And I think the Jets could definitely capitalize from this. They have a multitude of picks over the past couple of years. I think that it's a good option. You look at this, they have 2 second-round picks. If you're able to offer a second-round pick to move up to be able to select a high-end offensive tackle, that's probably the right move. And again, this adds one more pick to the carousel. We might honestly ask for maybe a 4th rounder next year in return. We'll do a 5th just to get some extra draft capital back. But again, the Jets are moving up here. It's like Charles Cross. Morgan Moses is up for a contract. So being able to get 2 top end positions or top end players at high level positions, it's just like the right move. And honestly, I wanted to get a trade for the Panthers, and that was probably the best one available. I couldn't see any team wanting to move up besides the Jets to get in front of the Giants, who would have taken a tackle here. And now that they can't, it's a good time to potentially move back again. And I'm looking at teams that might want to move up because I don't think Trevor Penning's worth it. You could also see Nakobe Dean be this pick for sure. But when you look at, again, you do have quarterbacks on the board, but I don't think a team's going to move in the top 10 for a quarterback. That's my honest opinion. I don't think they move into here. Tyler Linderbaum's still on the board. I might go that route, but I got to see because there should be a team trying to move up and trying to get somebody of Tyler Linderbaum's caliber. I just don't see it. I really don't, which really sucks. Well, it might be good for the Eagles fans up in here, but this might just, it would kill me to go after offensive tackle here. I'm not going to. I'm going to go crazy right here. We're going to go to Kobe Dean out of Georgia. I do think that there's some links here. Oh, man, I'm about to get that would get me crucified. And I don't really care about getting crucified. You know what? Screw it. Center guard position's been not great. I know there's been a lot of people who like Nick Gates, but we're going to go with this. I do think it's a very Brian Dable position to go after Tyler Linderbaum. Definitely feels like a Bill player, right? But again, we might be trying to move up again for Trevor Penning because it is a big position of need. Do not get me wrong. I think it's a huge position of need. At the same time, Tyler Linderbaum you also need help all over the offensive line. So I think it's a good spot. And number 8 for the Falcons, again, it's really up to you which one of these guys you want because I think both of them are absolute studs. I'm going to go Derek Stingley Jr. here out of LSU. His ceiling is incredible, and you pair him up with AJ Terrell's been absolutely dominant. I don't think you can go wrong. Number 9 for the Broncos, I might even move back here, to be honest with you. But Devin, Lloyd, and Nakobe Dean are heavy on my list. And with how many linebackers up for a contract for the Broncos, and honestly, it kind of I would say let's make a move for a quarterback. We're not going to. I don't like doing player trades. That's just not my thing. We're going to go Nakobe Dean out of Georgia here. A guy's going to fly. He's going to be running those 4.4s, and the guy's excellent in coverage. He's my number 1 graded linebacker by a noticeable margin over other guys like Devin Lloyd, who are in the same tier. Just a guy who's absolutely amazing all around and somebody who I would love to have on my team. Leaving number 10 for the Panthers, who have moved back, acquired a 2nd-round pick to go Malik Willis out of Liberty. I think the future with Sam Darnold is non-existent. I don't think it's there. I was very happy to see Sam go to the Panthers, but at the same time, it's like, we obviously knew that it was a one-time shot and he will make it or he won't. With Matt Rule on the hot seat, I think that this is a perfect spot for him to kind of extend his potential future there. Malik Willis is the perfect guy to do it because he needs a year to develop. And this is a perfect guy to develop. So I love Malik Willis on this squad. We got that 2nd-round pick, so we're able to acquire other positions of need. The Jets being able to get 2 top-end talents, if I get any shit for that, it's like, come on now. Number 11 for the Washington football team, this is also going to be a quarterback, but honestly, there's not really a solidified guy here. Kenny Pickett probably is going to be the next guy off the board, though. I do think that he is, like Sam Howell, he has some incredible throws, but honestly, I think his stock has fallen since the Senior Bowl. I'm going to go Kenny Pickett here. You do need an actual impact player on the squad, and he's going to be the best quarterback day one out of all of these guys. Matt Corral might be in that mix, but you're looking for an instant upgrade and instant impact on a roster that should be able to win the NFC East. Kenny Pickett's probably your best bet. Malik Willis has the highest ceiling, but Kenny Pickett has the highest floor. And honestly, you just need some really solid play to not have your quarterback lose a game for you or just stat pad at the end of it. But again, I think that that's a phenomenal choice for Washington. I'd be pretty happy if I were a Washington Commanders fan. I don't know why they still haven't updated the logo. TDN's going to TDN, but Kenny Pickett is definitely somebody who I'd feel comfortable with if Malik Willis does not fall. Number 12, we got the Vikings on the board, and this is a lock Sauce Gardner. I love it. I love Sauce to the squad. And we're actually seeing a very important player fall, and that's Jermaine Johnson. And you could say fall, Alex. It's freaking pick 12, right? I'm not following TDN's rank. I don't care what they rank. Like, again, their ranking means absolutely nothing to me. I will just say I've been a huge fan of him, and I thought it was a risk putting him up here in the 15, 16 range before the Senior Bowl. It's a risk having him fall to 15 or 16 at this point. He's not going to get past pick 17. I can guarantee you that. But for the Browns, you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. I think it's going to be Garrett Wilson. Treylon Burks deserves some mentions in here. Just, again, a guy who might be running 4.38, and in a league where DK Metcalfs exist, probably a good option. So that might be the really weird one, but I think Garrett Wilson is the perfect wide receiver for the Browns. Ravens sitting here, I don't think that there's any option but these two. And Jermaine Johnson's a freak, but David Ojabo, again, you have all the connections there. With the Ravens, if it's logical, they will do it. That's the thing. You thought about the best players available on the board, the guys who fit them the best: Patrick Queen, Devin Duvernay, which obviously a lot of people don't like Devin Duvernay, but I just think he's in the wrong scheme. The guys with the best value and the best fit usually go to the Ravens. That's just their thing. And they've shown that they're able to be able to develop edge talent. And that is perfect for a guy like David Ojabo, who is going to be pairing up with his old high school buddy, Odafe Owe, and he's going to be able to pair up with his old DC. It just really does make sense. Leaving the Eagles here to be going Jermaine Johnson, they're going to be pulling the trigger right away. Absolutely no doubt about it. And again, this is a Howie Roseman draft. Don't get on me in case you guys don't like a pick or not, because you got to wait for the What I Would Do mock draft to actually be pleased/horrified. That's just the way it rolls. No one's going to be happy with this because everybody has their own different rankings. Everybody has their own different thought process. But for me, these are two positions that, one, I think there's a really good depth. So the Eagles could trade up and get Brian Asamoah in the second round. By far my second favorite linebacker in this class. And that's no shade to Devin Lloyd, because Devin Lloyd's a very good linebacker. First round grade on him as well. But you can get first round and second round quality linebackers very easily. And again, this is a team that hasn't drafted a first round linebacker since 1985. That's just the thing. And when you look at draft history, they do not draft corners very highly. So for people who are saying you should draft a corner, they should, but they don't. So I think that is going to be the right move. Again, you guys know what time it is. Big receiver is something that's a big lack on this team, and Howie likes to draft first round wide receivers. And when you get to potentially rewrite time with being able to pass on DK Metcalf, to get DK Metcalf now might be something that is up Howie's aisle. So we're going to be going Treylon Burks here out of Arkansas. Again, somebody who has freak talent. And we've seen with Jamar Chase what a receiver really could do. You know, you got Jalen Hurts there. Now you got Devontae Smith and Treylon Burks to help him out. Quez Watkins in the short game as well to be able to just totally stretch the field. Yes, he can go long too, but I'm saying Quez is just, I love Quez. Like, for people who are going to try to come at me and say that I'm like undervaluing Quez, just really think about Quez Watkins being a wide receiver too, and then come back to me. If you really think he can be, I think that he can produce number 2 as a number 3. Like, I love Quez to death, and I think he's getting heavily underrated by people who don't talk about him. But Quez lovers, y'all need to be realistic too. Number 17, Chargers. Like, oh, I'm stuck between 2 picks right here, guys. I know Drake London, everybody and their mom loves Drake London to like the Jets at number 10. I don't think, since he's not going to test that well and just came off an injury, he's going to go as high as people think. Jameson Williams, I think that he could be the guy. But also, we are forgetting about somebody who could play right tackle, and that's Kenyon Green. He can play guard in the short term, tackle in the long run, and the guy is phenomenal. Again, we got some really good receivers in the draft. Again, if you pass on him, the next round, you can get someone like Calvin Austin who can stretch the field. Sky Moore, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Tolbert. There are guys in this draft that can make an impact to the next level. When you look at the offensive linemen who can play right tackle, you got Darian Kennard, Who else? Daniel Fialele, Nicholas Petit-Frere. Like these guys I would never want. I'm just going to be honest. If I were the Chargers, I would never want that. I'd want Kenyon Green. He can play everywhere. If an injury happens, he's already played, I think, 4 different positions on the offensive line. So I'm going to go Kenyon Green. It hurts me because I really want to give you guys Jameson Williams. At the same time, you got to understand that Kenyon Green and bolstering that offensive line even more is what is going to get you past the finish line. So I think Kenyon Green's the best option for this team by a long shot, even though there's some really good options at the wide receiver realm. 18, we got the Saints, and it's down to Jameson Williams and a quarterback here, like Matt Corral, Sam Howell, or Desmond Ridder. It's like, I really want to go wide receiver, and I am 99% of the time going to do that. I will say this, there is $70-something million to be able to clear up in order to make this team viable cap-wise. Apparently, you guys want to keep Michael Thomas. I have no freaking idea how you're going to free up 70 million. I don't. And I actually have the graphics already ready saying that you should get rid of Michael Thomas. You know, the guy, he costs a lot of money. And there's a lot of guys on that team that cost a lot of money. The one guy who I would never do is Cam Jordan. So do not get rid of Cam Jordan. That being said, even though I always say, like, if you get a quarterback, who are they going to throw to? You kind of have to go that route. You have to just go and get yourself somebody, because Jameis, honestly, if I were him, I wouldn't want to come back. I mean, there's plenty of options. You even go back to freaking Tampa. I wouldn't do that personally, but there are a plethora of options not named the Saints. And I think it's the right route. So Matt Corral might be the biggest winner out of Mobile, not named Malik Willis, because even Kenny Pickett had bad snaps. Desmond Ridder had some good ones, but not enough to bolster himself as a solidified first. Sam Howell had some really bad ones too. Matt Corral, he's probably going to be the right guy for this team. So we're going to be selecting him here. Again, Sam Howell, I do like him a lot. He's probably fallen to my QB too. I honestly don't even know what my QB rankings are anymore because I just don't like this QB class. I don't. So that's just the way it's going to roll. Number 19 with the Eagles. So this one, I can see us trading back. I really think Jaquan Brisker is going to be this pick. I do. And I kind of want to pick up some more picks with a team. I mean, I'm looking for a team that could potentially trade up here. The problem is we got to see who is available. Like, what players would teams want to trade up for? Jameson Williams is a big one. I think that if the Eagles move back with the Raiders, that would be a phenomenal move for them to move up, get Jameson Williams, and then you could still get Jaquan Brisker. For the people who want to get linebacker, you didn't listen. You didn't listen before. So I'm not even going to say it again. Offensive line, I do think should be a priority for this team. I just don't think anybody's worth it on the board. If you're not going to get Kenyon Green, then you're not going to be going after that route. So we are going to be trading with the Raiders because, again, you do have teams like the Patriots and even the Steelers who have 2 wide receivers on contract, by the way, who honestly, I mean, they're going to need some help. So, and they're going to be threatening Jameson Williams' future with the squad. We are going to be offering probably a 4th round pick to move up. That seems to make sense. We will be giving back maybe we'll give back a 6th and then ask for a 7th in return. That way we're starting to flip picks, being able to move up 1 round for both teams technically. So there we go. The Eagles accepted the offer. And this is going to be Jameson Williams at Alabama. Replace a Bama speedster and Henry Ruggs with a Bama speedster and Jameson Williams. Steelers on the clock. This is going to be Sam Howell out of North Carolina. I think Desmond Ridder could actually be this pick and when it all is said and done. And I've really not liked Desmond Ridder at all. I've hated him a lot, but he has improved exponentially over the offseason. I think it would be a very smart idea to try. If you're there in the 2nd round, if the Steelers decide to go offensive line or something in the 1st and Desi's there in the 2nd, I definitely look that way. Number 21 with the Patriots, it's down to Andrew Booth, who I think is phenomenal, or Devin Lloyd. Again, let's do a quick little recap of who's on the board. You got some phenomenal play. Oh my God, George Karlaftis is still here. I love George Karlaftis. I just can't see, like, with all the hype that's going on, good players fall. So honestly, if I were, man, there's three top 15, top 10 talents here. That's Devin Lloyd. Technically Brian Asamoah is above him. George Karlaftis and Andrew Booth. And you can't go wrong with any of them. I don't think the Patriots are a team to go first round corner. That's just not the Bill Belichick thing to do. Uh, I mean, man, I mean, shoot. We're gonna go Devin Lloyd here, but like it really kills me because I need Karlaftis to get drafted because this guy's a freaking monster. I love him. Like, don't get me wrong. He is tied with Jermaine Johnson in my eyes. I will just say Jermaine Johnson brings a little more excitement versus Karlaftis is very unique in what you're gonna be doing with him. And unfortunately, you're gonna have to go safety. It kills me because I really want a team to trade up for Karlaftis, but the Dallas Cowboys are gonna get Jaquan Brisker if you don't. And the bottom line is you don't want to be facing Jaquan Brisker 2 times a year if you're going up against the Dallas Cowboys. This is a very Eagles pick as well. So you're finally getting back to the 2 defensive, 1 offensive position, but still this position is going to be filled by George Karlaftis. It kills me. I can't let him fall anymore. Obviously JJ Watt there for 1 more year. And this guy could be the next JJ Watt. I love Karlaftis. He's in a blue chip prospect range for me. I love him to death. It kills me. It really does, because I think that he should go. I mean, hell, he could go here. He could go here. He could go here. Like even here. There's a billion places he can go. Again, we're in a stacked edge class though, so it's definitely possible. Cowboys sitting here. I mean, I've kind of taken my favorite players out of all positions for them. I'm gonna be honest, and I think this would be a good spot to move back. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys have much to gain by sitting here. You could go after a wide receiver like Chris Olave to replace Michael Gallup, but I don't see much upside in that, to be honest with you. And I'm looking at some teams that might want a quarterback because there are some really good ones still on the board. Like Desmond Ridder could be an NFL quarterback. You could also, again, look for a team to move up for someone like Drake London, who I think is phenomenal. And that team might be the Packers. But you honestly might want to trade with the AFC to be able to get someone. Man, I think I really do like Chris Olave going to the Dolphins because I like that Devontae Smith style wide receiver. Regardless, I'm going to have the Dolphins move up because the Bills are next, and I don't think that they want the Bills to have their choice at a wide receiver and then them get the seconds. So obviously looking at this, they have 2 extra fourths. We're going to be sending that in, seeing if the Dallas Cowboys do agree to it. I mean, it was only a 3rd round pick to flip a couple spots in the top 15. So I think it's warranted. Again, Drake London should be this pick, and he very well might be. He can move on the inside or outside. I don't think Devontae Parker is the future. This guy should be the pick. Chris Olave is another guy who I think is a stud, though. And this probably should be Chris Olave the more I think about it. Again, you're losing Emmanuel Sanders. I think you might be losing or should be losing within the next year. Cole Beasley. Chris Olave definitely should be in consideration here, but Andrew Booth Jr. is on the board, and you do need a cornerback too desperately. So we're going to go Andrew Booth Jr. Again, it kills me because I really want a billion different players to this team, and that's the way that this draft's fallen. Number 26 for the Titans. This team should be, I don't know. I don't even know what to go after for this team anymore. Go after offensive lineman, Trevor Penning. I don't think he even offers that much to this team. Travon Walker is not a bad idea. That would not be bad. I would actually look for a team to move up for Travon Walker, though. So let's see if a team passed on. I mean, you don't want to trade in division, but that team could definitely use it. The Giants. So if you move back with the Giants, they could go after Trevor Penning or they can go after Travon Walker. And I think, are any teams looking for a tackle here? We're having the Packers right here. And I think the New York Giants are going to make a big splash move here. And I did this in my last mock draft as well. I think that this is almost like a lock type move where the Giants, if this is what's going to happen, are going to make a big, big move up in here. We'll see if we can get a 5th round pick in return. It's not that big of a deal. It's a 5th round pick versus a 3rd. So we're going to have them move up. It's like Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa. Again, I just think it's a phenomenal move for the franchise. It makes sense. So again, this is another team that could have used someone like Trevor Penning on the left side. Next, I mean, that'd be insane. The amount of strength, the amount of talent that you could have if Trevor Penning pans out with Wirfs and Penning. I'd love it. So number 27 for the Buccaneers. I mean, I would honestly be considering Travon Walker here. You can use him inside or outside. I mean, I love him. Roger McCreary, Devontae Wyatt, Chris Olave. Honestly, we're going to go Chris Olave here out of Ohio State. it just sucks because I think Travon Walker is like a top 10 player, and he's gonna go here, by the way. Like, there's no way in hell he falls any further. He's a top 15 type of player, and especially if you use him on the inside, which Packers can use him inside or out, the guy is just in another realm. Cowboys are back on the board, and this actually is going to be Zion Johnson. I could really see it happening. He can play center, he can play guard, and he can play left tackle. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be Zion. I can't do that to myself or you guys. You know, I mean, this is just a weird spot because I'm not really a huge fan of many guys to this team at this point. You could go after Daxton Hill because I do say he's a slot, but he also can play deep. And I think that might be the right move for the team. So we're going to do it. We're finding bending down and going on one knee for Daxton Hill, going to the Cowboys. Number 30, we got the Chiefs. And honestly, I'm not actually a pretty big fan of any of these guys to this team at this point. Edge rusher is a huge need. I think that's a good spot to address as well. Kingsley should be in this list. Boye Mafe is a guy who could actually sneak into the first. We're going to go Kingsley and Nagbari. Again, a guy who's he didn't do enough to bolster himself as like solidified first, but at the same time, he didn't do too little to where he would knock himself out of first round contention, especially for a team that loves his type of size and speed build. That's where we go. Bengals. I tweeted at this. If you guys don't get an offensive lineman, you're like one of the worst franchises ever. Like, honestly, I don't care what people say. I think Zion Johnson can play guard or center, and you're trying to develop one of those guys as an offensive tackle. I will say this. I would personally go after Brandon Scherf, but we can't assume that. So we're going to go Zion Johnson here out of Boston College. Obviously, Quentin Spain is the whole entire reason why the game ended. So Zion Johnson could definitely fit there and also move into center if need be. 32 for the Lions to end off the first. You can see a team move up for a QB here. I just don't think they're that talented. And I think that when you look at what's going to be chosen next, because you have your pick of the litter here, I think that this would be a good spot to address maybe a different position. And that might be wide receiver. And when you got Jahan Dotson on the board, as well as George Pickens, I don't think George Pickens falls as far as people think. He's going to test very well. Very athletic wide receiver, and he has one hell of a work ethic. I mean, the guy came back from ACL tear earlier this year to come and play, and he's not going to be the deep threat that you're looking for, but he's the perfect guy to end off the first round for this team. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Just come back tomorrow for round 2. See you on the far side. Peace.